Chapter 1. The Abandoned Child. Written by CDLINKPH. An unexpected event occurred that day. The clouds suddenly darkened, and lightning struck fiercely. The sky turned pitch black even though it was midday. Darkness engulfed the light as heavy rain poured, accompanied by the cries of an infant held by a woman standing in the middle of an empty road. Surrounding her were overgrown grasses, with not a single soul or vehicle in sight. "What should we do? The baby might die if we leave it here, Roy," the woman said, her voice trembling. "That's even better. At least we won't have any more problems. Just leave it there, Rowena. We're too young for this. We can't even take care of ourselves, let alone raise a child." Roy retorted coldly. Rowena looked down at the crying baby in her arms. Tears welled up in her eyes, seemingly catching the sorrow of the infant, who perhaps could sense its impending abandonment. "I'm sorry, my child. Bringing you into this world was a mistake. Enough with the drama. Leave the baby already, or someone might see us." Roy yelled impatiently. "But, I don't care. I'm leaving. If you don't want to come, suit yourself," he snapped before getting into his car, though he hesitated to drive off, clearly waiting for her. "I'm sorry, my child," Rowena whispered as she slowly laid the baby down on the wet grass, its cries piercing through the storm. With the heavy rain pouring, the baby's survival seemed impossible unless someone stumbled upon it. Rowena silently prayed that someone would pass by and save the child. Dragging her feet, Rowena walked away from the baby and got into the car with her boyfriend. The baby's cries echoed, growing fainter as Rowena moved further away. Meanwhile, from the heavens, a dark smoke emerged, and countless shadowy creatures with black wings descended. Though invisible to human eyes, their presence caused a sudden solar eclipse undetectable by modern technology. This phenomenon was the handiwork of the King of Hell, who wielded the power to alter the weather. "Humans can be more demonic than us. Imagine leaving a baby in the middle of the road during such a storm," Bale said, shaking his head. The demons had witnessed the actions of the young couple, who looked barely old enough to be called adults. "What's wrong with leaving the baby behind if they think it'll only cause them problems?" Deimos, the king of devils, said with a smirk. "Exactly, and the noise is so irritating. Let's just kill that brat already." Azara, Deimos' fiancée and the soon-to-be queen of hell, exclaimed dramatically as she began gathering energy in her hands. "Hold your horses, Azara. I want to see how miserable her situation becomes first," Deimos interrupted, descending to the ground near the crying baby. "As expected of you, you enjoy watching someone suffering, even if it's an infant," Bale commented. The baby suddenly stopped crying as if sensing Deimos's presence. "Fascinating. She stopped crying as soon as she saw me," Deimos murmured, picking up the baby, who looked at him curiously. Maybe she's wondering why I have horns and wings," Deimos mused, his voice soft. For some reason, this child brought him a sense of peace, a feeling he had never experienced before. His thoughts were interrupted when the baby reached out with her tiny hand and tugged at his long hair. "Brat! How dare she pull the king's hair? I'll kill her myself." "Shut up, Azara, I can hear you from here," Deimos snapped, still staring at the baby with an expression of amusement. Other demons descended from the sky, gathering around Deimos. "Gods, how can someone be this small and fragile? I feel like breaking her into pieces," Deimos said with a wicked grin. "Then, do it quickly, my lord. We have work to do, we're here to conquer the human world." Azara urged impatiently. "Are you commanding me now, Azara? Who do you think you are?" Deimos growled, giving her a dangerous glare. Azara froze in fear. Despite being his fiancée, her status is definitely lower than Deimos. She was an illegitimate child of Hell's Duke, but she was chosen by Deimos for her strength after winning a competition. She was one of Hell's strongest women, but she knew Deimos wouldn't hesitate to end her life if he wanted to, just as he had disposed of countless women and concubines in the past. "If I kill her now, I'll never figure out why she makes me feel this way. She's fascinating. Just looking at her amuses me," Deimos said, still focused on the infant. The demons around him were stunned. It was almost impossible to entertain or please the King of Hell. His usual hobbies included indulging in carnal pleasures with countless women or killing indiscriminately. He even murdered his own father to claim the throne, proving that strength was the only law in hell. Yet here he was, captivated by a human infant. "Let's return for now. I want to spend more time with this child," Deimos declared. But what about the conquest, my lord? We're here to take over the human world. Baal protested. "I'm the one who will decide when we will proceed. If any of you dare defy me, I'll kill you all." Understood. Even Baal, his most trusted right-hand man, shuddered at Deimos's threat. He knew the king wouldn't hesitate to execute anyone who disobeyed him. With that, Deimos opened a fiery portal leading to hell and stepped through, carrying the baby. The other demons followed silently, their plans for conquest momentarily set aside. To be continued.